That's bad.
What's going on, guys? Hope all is well. We've been keeping busy around here. Last few days I've been tinkering, putting this 6.0 together. I was going to put it in the Envoy there, but I kind of think that the 5.3 in that thing's fine. So I'm just going to rock with that for as long as it lasts. I don't know if you guys remember if I mentioned it before, but that thing's got almost 350,000 miles on it. It leaks a little bit. Was having some weird oil pressure issues, but that seems to be fine now, knock on wood. So, who knows what that'll end up in. Maybe the Mustang, maybe the shop truck, I don't know. There's a guy that says he wants to come this weekend and check this thing out, so we'll see if this thing sticks around. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. I don't really care if I sell it or not. I like the truck, but extra money is always nice, and just sits a lot lately. Fiero, waiting on just stuff, man. I've got to finish up the wiring. I'm waiting on the... Ooh, it's early in the video, so I'm not allowed to cuss if I want good monetization, but I'm about to. I'm waiting on them gosh dang injectors, and then, yeah, just like wiring. I got to fix a thing on the fuel line, plumb the cooling system, tune it. Pretty much it, I think. I haven't given up on the car yet, all right? Get off my back. There's just other things that keep popping up that seem to have a little bit more priority. I would say like the 55, but, you know, this is probably the farthest away from being done project that we've got. I would even say that Pops' Mustang is closer than this. The Skylark, waiting on a front passenger hub. I was going to just put it back together with the one that was on it, the weird looking one. I started pressing the studs in, and like even after I got the hub all flat again, I was pretty confident in it. Started pressing the studs in it, and the thing just twisted all crazy again. So I was like, screw it. I'll just bite the bullet, spend the freaking like $80 on a used one, a refurbished used one, and it is what it is. The gears showed up yesterday. Went with some 410s for it. It does have a 4L80, so it should still cruise nice. And then my neighbor across the street, Austin, messaged me a couple days ago, and he's like, hey, you think you could give me a hand wiring my car? And I was like, hell yeah, dude. Anything to not work on that damn donk. That car. I got to be careful what I say, because then people will take it the wrong way. God forbid you have opinions sometimes. But just get me the right fucking parts, man. I could have been done with that car a fucking month ago if they would just give me the right goddamn fucking parts. That's all I've got to say about that. Anyway, I pushed that thing outside in between the house and the garage so that the weather can't really get to it. You know, trying to be respectful of other people's stuff while still being able to make some money here. So yeah, this is the neighbors. I'm not too keen on the years for these body styles. I want to say this is a 75, 76, 7, 8, something like that. Nova. And this is actually a really nice car. To me, at least. I think it's a really nice car. So, like I said, we are going to be wiring this thing up. Luckily, it's nothing too crazy. Small block Chevy in a small block Chevy world. So there's not a ton of wires, but man, I am a big fan of these Disco Novas. I like them. I really like boxy cars. Does have a pretty decent little Pro Street cage. I think this thing's back halved. I can't remember. Looks like it's got a back half crossbar there. I want to say it's ladder barred. Don't remember the rear end. 488 gears. And then maybe like one or two of you guys will recognize this motor. This is the 355 out of the mid-engine S10. What comes around is all around. So this thing should be way happier in this car than it was in the S10. We're not doing anything too crazy, just wiring it up through a switch panel. All right, there we go. Now I feel a little bit better about this hood not coming down and gouging the hell out of his fenders. Anyway, yeah, I really do like the square Novas. I think it's got to be the right car, but I do really like some of the more less desirable body style cars. Like I said, it's got to be the right one. I don't want like like a 73 or 74 Monte Carlo with just the hideous front ends. A lot of the Pontiacs in like the mid 70s are absolutely gross too. But when they have a nice tight front end, this is getting weird. So yeah, he's got the shifter here. That water pump you already saw is on it. There's a carburetor. This is the battery box, I think. So the shifter, I don't want to bolt it down because he's a lot taller than me. His arms, I think, are a lot longer than mine too. So where it would be comfortable for me might not be comfortable for him. So I'll probably just sit it in place to run the wires for the reverse lights and the neutral safety switch. Right there you can see the switch panel that we're going to be running everything through. It is a fuse panel. I asked him if he wanted to run things through a relay board, and he was like, look, just let's not make it more of work for you, so whatever's the easiest and quickest for you, he'll be fine with. So I was like, right on. So yeah, I'm just going to start running some wires and plotting things out. Alright, so I'm back here starting with the more important bits first. Obviously, battery box will be in this neighborhood. Wouldn't really make sense to put it over there because we got the kill switch here. And then obviously we're going to run the length of the cable up the passenger side. So we got the ground here. Don't know if I want to go through the floor to the frame or if I just want to weld a lug to the cage there. Either way should work just fine. Who knows, might go through the floor and weld the lug to the frame. Man, that box has an interesting smell to it. I need a cutoff section to go to the kill switch, and then from the kill switch we're running, I got this laid out to get an idea of the length. We're running the entire length of the frame to a lug on the firewall right there. And then we'll go from that lug to the starter. And then that also goes through the firewall, so we can use that as a power point for stuff inside the car, like the switch panel. And I need to check this switch panel. I'm going to have to pull this out and look. But I'm hoping that this switch panel has like one spot where you can hook power to for everything. And then you can just run the out wire to whatever accessory it goes to. And I also might move this switch from here to over there, because this one's missing. Doesn't really make a huge difference, just slightly OCD about it. Again, we're not doing anything crazy, so it'll be ignition, starter there, and then probably fuel pump, water pump and fans, and then headlights, taillights. Then there should be a pretty basic switch down on the pedal for the brakes. Yeah, you can hear it. So for that, all we gotta do is hook power to one side of it, and then from the other side we'll just go out to the brake lights. Kind of the same thing for the reverse lights on the shifter, which I need to look at that here in a second. We'll just run power to one side of the reverse light switch on the shifter, and then when it's in reverse, it connects that circuit and will run power out to the lights. So I'm just going to turn the camera off and get to work and try and knock out as much of this as I can. Alright, so I got the cable to the battery, to the kill switch, from the kill switch down under the car. It's just kind of laying under there right now. I gotta lift the car up and then I'll run the clamps and everything. We'll get it up here. I got the switch panel pulled out of the car. Kind of went through that, cleaned it up. Pulled just a bunch of these, like these ones. This one's, I could probably wiggle it and it would fall apart. Yeah, that was a one-hander. So went through, redid all this. Aside from the grounds for the little indicator lights, they seem fine. I mean, it's whatever. Kind of an eyesore, but it'll work just fine. Did all the switches by colors, you know, pretty basic stuff. So the red here is the ignition to the distributor. It's just an HEI. So we just need like the power into it. First switch is fuel pump. That's the green. And then our cool blue for our cooling system. And then the yellow for the lights. Got those with a bunch of extra length there. And then here is from the push button. This will go to the neutral safety switch on the shifter. And then here is some powers in. I got these zip tied together so that you can differentiate them from the one that'll go to the distributor. Once it's all in the car, you won't really be able to mix them up. I don't really like, I wish I had some reds with like black stripes or something, things like that, but we're working with what we're working with. So I can go get this thrown in the car and start running the wires out to all the accessories. Trying to figure out kind of where I want to run things. Like if I want to run the wire for the cooling system and stuff right over the top of the motor, like along the intake, kind of like that. I don't know. Don't want to run it out and around and then have all these together here. I don't know. You can do some thinking on that. But like I said, I can get the switch panel back in the car, get the wires kind of roughly laid out, and just see what's going to work. Also for the line lock, they got the wire there. I don't think I saw a switch anywhere. Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll just, that's something they can hook up whenever they want to deal with that. Right now he just wants the car running and driving. So let me get this thing thrown in there. And just like that, I'm pretty sure I got the car done already. So the thing that's nice about these old small blocks, especially one that doesn't have a whole lot of, you know, bells and whistles, keep them simple. They only need a handful of wires throughout the entire car. The only thing that's not hooked up is blinkers. I'll be honest with you guys, we live out here in the country. Even people with brand new cars don't use their blinkers, it seems. So yeah, got the power lug on the firewall, batteries in the back, ran through the kill switch. Pretty sure I showed you guys that. All P-clamped along the underside of the car so it doesn't drag or hit or wear on anything. The spots that are up against the frame, I've got some like insulation on them. So battery cable comes up to the lug. That goes through the firewall, so the stuff inside the car, I'm getting power off the back side of that. That's going down to the starter. These headers are really tight, so I got another P-clamp right there holding it off the headers so it can't wiggle up against them. Trying to be responsible. Like I said, I'm trying to prolong this car from burning down as long as I can. So, alternator wired up. Fan and water pump are ran to the same switch. That's just the way I like to do it. Cooling system on one switch, so you can't forget like to turn the water pump on or the fan on. And if you're sitting like in the pits or something, you can run the water through and fan it and cool it off really quick. Not that I think he's going to race this thing a whole lot. I think this is more of like a Pro Street style deal here, but it's nice to have that option. Oh, the one thing I forgot, now that I'm thinking about it, is to zip down the grounds for the headlights. But yeah, those are ran through here. Still need to get tucked out of the way. But yeah, just rocking them. Headlights and taillights are on the same switch. That way lights are on. Look at this. I even hooked up the neutral safety switch and the reverse lights. I don't know, who is this guy? But yeah, for brake lights, those are always easy. Just power to one side of the switch at the pedal, and then when you hit the pedal, it activates it, and then just send power out to the brake lights. On these older GM cars, the brown wire here, I believe, it's been a few minutes, so I think it's the brown wire here is usually the brake lights, and the green is the reverse lights. I might have that backwards. Yeah, just tied into them right there, because we were kind of like whipping up a standalone type harness, so we weren't trying to get real crazy with it. So we were just tied into the stock wiring because it all looked good all back through here. So he's got taillights, brake lights, reverse lights. Like I said, no blinkers. Not a huge deal out here. You know, we got arms. Yeah, so we got ignition here. That just goes to the hot side of the distributor. It's an HEI, you know, nothing special. Starter here, and then fuel pump, cooling system, lights. So yeah, I just let him know. He can come pick it up. It's fun to get a nice little change of pace. Also, Pops was over and we lowered the rear about 1 inch. So it has a little bit less of that stink bug stance, which, you know, a lot of people like that. I do think the front's going to have to come up a little bit. As cool as it looks, the frame is very low. Very low. So on these country roads out here, that thing, it'll brah, brah. I've been there, so I know it'll happen. But yeah, aside from that, we knocked her out. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell to get the notifications. Any comments are appreciated. If you guys need anything from Snake Eater Performance, use code Snydertron for 10% off your entire order. Yeah, have a good day. See you.